Another track day video, this time Florida track days at Homestead Miami Speedway. I believe this is the third novice session of the day. We are at pit out, coming out of pit road for turn one here. Turn one's to our right. You're staying to the left, good job, thank you. Could be a little further to the left if I'm gonna nitpick, but it's okay. I'm gonna skip ahead a few corners because I don't want to critique anything when you're just getting on the track. It's not fair. Okay, body position, right? So, I know we talked about this a bunch on Sunday. Hips, shoulders, right? You're faced against the motorcycle. Motorcycle's leading right, you're going left. That's what we don't want, right? We want to get the shoulders inside the motorcycle. I want to be leaning in here. Remember, I'm like dragging the motorcycle with me. Come on, we're going this way. Come with me, let's go. This is the way we're going. This way I'm not fighting the motorcycle. It'll want to turn if you're not fighting it. And you could drive out a little wider because I want a wider entry to turn 7, but you got there. But then I want to get tight back. I want to get tight back to that apex of 7. This straightaway is critically important to a good lap around Homestead. So getting out of 7 is very, very important. You could be set up off the motorcycle already. I like the setup as early as possible. There's no benefit to waiting. It's only cumbersome to wait. Because I don't want to be moving around on the motorcycle while I'm adding lean angle. So try to get that done way earlier. Back when you're in your braking zone, go ahead and get off the motorcycle so you're set up and ready. So now, here what I'm going to say is I want to be, so like right now, as you're crossing over the patch, you're aimed off the racetrack, where ideally I want to continue this arc so that I'm pointed up the racetrack as we leave 7. So if I go ahead another second, so I like to clip, that's a bad drawing here. I want to clip this corner of that concrete patch with my tires. So my goal is to be in there on the gas, right? I'm pointed up the racetrack. I don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to make this? I'm a little worried about the grass. No, because I'm pointed up the racetrack on the exit. I'm still going to use my gas to get out to the rumble strip, but I'm not doing it in fear of running off. Because when you do that, you're worried about running off. You're not going to be as aggressive on the throttle. You can't be, because you might run off. To this gentleman, I don't know if you're watching, sir, but assuming it's a gentleman, we want to be out here. You want to be as tight to the wall as we can, because when you're real shallow like that, when you get to turn 10, you're going to have to make this a sharper turn than you want it to be. Where if I'm wider, I got a nice wide entry, I can make that a straighter shot down that hill. In turn 10, we carry a lot of weight on the front wheel, so I want that to be as straight as possible. I want to carry as little lean angle as possible. So work on getting wider coming down this straightaway. And then here, good reference point here is that dividing line, the white line that separates the apron from the banking. This cross, it's a good reference point. I like to run it over or be just outside of it. I want to connect this dot, that point there, to the edge of this rumble strip on the gas going down the hill. So you were a little wide out here, but that's okay. I remember you getting better at it as the day went on. Same thing here as before. To be expected. You're consistent. I'm back too far. Could have set up earlier, but then same thing, right? Upper body is going against the motorcycle instead of leading it through the corner, right? So we'll work on that. Although not as bad, definitely better there. And you see how I drove out wider on the exit? Because I'm gassing it, right? I'm going to use the throttle, which is going to drive me further to the right. Just long enough that I can get a good drive. And then I'm going to pull the motorcycle back to the left as much as I can so that I have a decent entry into 12. But what I don't want to do is not get on the throttle through this straight section just so that I can be back here, because I'm giving up straightaway speed to have a wider entry to a really slow corner. I don't want to give up the straightaway stuff to make up stuff in the corner, which is more dangerous, going a few miles per hour faster in probably the slowest corner of the entire track, or going maybe 10 miles an hour faster in a straightaway with the motorcycle upright. Clearly going faster upright is safer than carrying a couple more mile per hour in the corner. Plus, you're going to carry this higher mile per hour over a longer distance than you will carrying a couple of more mile per hour through turn 12, because it's immediate left to 13. So there's not a big benefit there. Then get tight to this rumble strip, flick it back to the left, get nice and tight. See, I was a little bit tighter on the exit here. It's kind of the same thing that I mentioned in 8. I want to be pointed up the racetrack as opposed to being pointed out here, right? Because now I'm going to be worried about clipping cones. And they do these cones here because this transition from the apron to the banking is very dramatic. So I like to be, let me go a little bit further forward. I like to be running parallel as much as I can with that line so that I don't transition up onto the banking a little bit further down the straightaway, so it's not as abrupt of a change. If you get the front wheel going up this banking too much earlier than the rear, the bike gets a little funny. So I like to be going more parallel with it than going kind of against it, if that makes sense. And I guess I led you around a little. We don't need to see video of me doing nothing. Okay, that is it. Thank you very much. Hope it was helpful.